can be shaped by us.
We have to prepare for a more angry world. How to prepare? To take the necessary action, create a fairer world. I see the need for a great reset.
So people assume we are just going back to the good old world which we had, and everything will be normal again. This is, let's say, fiction. It will not happen.
There is only one way this pandemic is going to go. It's going to get worse and worse and worse.
Pay insufficient attention to the frightening scenario of a comprehensive cyber attack, which would bring to a complete halt to the power supply, transportation, hospital services, our society as a whole. The COVID-19 crisis would be seen in this respect as a small disturbance in comparison to a major cyber attack.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Speaker's Corner Online. I am feeling a little under the weather today, so you're going to have to bear with me. If you see me disappear, it's because I am blowing my nose. But without further ado, we already have two guests waiting to come on, so let's get them on. We have Open Your Eyes UK and a new person to the live streams, the Rainimator. Hope I said that right. Both are now regulars on Speaker's Corner Online. Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening. Can you hear me?
We can, yeah, hear you loud and clear, mate. How you doing?
Yeah, not bad.
And Open Your Eyes UK, who hasn't been on a live stream with us before one time. How you doing, my friend?
I'm fine. Everything good this way.
Excellent. Now, Rainimator, what can you share with us? Who are you? Are you you're not a secret agent? Are you? Are you member of some secret group? Tell us what you can tell us, so we at least we can put you in a box and attack you if you ever go against us.
Yeah, well, the only thing which you might know before is making reanimations. I don't know if you've ever been to my channel before.
No, I don't think I have.
Oh, right, you missed out something big time.
Right. What's your channel? We share it right now.
It's just the Reanimator. It's where I've taken creature comforts animations and I've animated them to things relating to Speaker's Corner. So yeah, go to that channel. Have a look.
I'm going on there right now, mate. Just give me 1 second.
I'm really shocked because you missed out big time, Manny.
Oh, must have done. Have I spelled that wrong? Rainy. I spelled it right.
I'll give you the link. Hang on a second.
Yeah, if you could give me a link. For some reason, YouTube's not showing it. You're going to put it in the back chat?
Yeah. Hang on 2 seconds.
A private chat, as it's called.
Yeah.
You have a very authoritarian voice. Are you sure? Are you sure you're not a member of the Metropolitan Police?
But I hope I don't sound like that. The reason why
Eyes UK, what do you reckon? Do you reckon he sounds like a copper or not?
Yeah, MI6 or something.
right.
All right, not even the regular police, like fully blown secret service.
So I normally avoid these video chats because I don't like my own voice. So maybe you're right. Maybe I do sound too authoritarian or
No. It's good to have a heavy voice, mate. It's all good. Right, so this is your channel here. Well, I'm going to subscribe and I'm going to press the bell icon.
Well, I'll tell you what. If you click on hang on.
Have you done these? Have you done these animations?
Yeah. You can play them, so you won't get a strike of them. But if you play, does Israel have a right to exist? Play that for everyone.
How's Israel? Oh, this one here. All right, let's play this.
Welcome to the show and Happy New Year if you're Jewish, and Happy New Year if you're not Jewish as well. So we've got a very special show for you lined up today. We've got Waleed back. He kept commenting in the chat, in the video, every time we did a video, that he'd like to come back and continue the discussion on whether Israel has a right to exist, whether he supports or rejects the Jewish homeland. So without further ado, Waleed, do you want to tell us why you don't support Israel as a Jewish homeland?
For me, I talked with you a lot before about Israel, and all the Israeli people, they say the same thing. We as a Jewish, we a lot of people like killed us around the whole world. We get attacked, we get kicked out from our homes
like him.
around the whole world, and then we decide to go back. But before all of this happening, you forget about the Rothschild family.
Oh, you've taken his voice and actually put it over the animation.
Yeah, I've used all the real voices.
Oh, I see. Excellent.
Child family, who is the reason for First World War, Second World War. The act they did is not you cannot even like title them as a human being. They corrupted the whole world. Because of them, millions of people died around the whole world. The whole world, you know. And the fact is, they were the richest. Should use that how the Jews in this time before First World War, they were good. They were living good, and the richest in the world were Jews. And what they did, they started the Zionist idea and the idea of taking the Holy Land of, but it's not any Holy Land. They just wanted land for themselves and to steal it. Forced Britain to give it to them. We put Britain under debit. We put France under debit. All of that just to get Israel. So before you asking about, before you telling me we fought, like how you say it, everyone was racist to us, or
okay, dude, that's very good. That's very impressive. A bit scary how good it is. So tell us a little bit about how you go about doing that.
It takes a bloody long time.
Please tell me it's not one frame at a time.
It is one frame at a time.
No.
I mean, the first thing you've got to do is like grab the audio, and it's like that audio might be an hour, it might be 2 hours long, and then you've got to put it down to sort of 3 or 4 minutes. So that can spend a day just doing the audio, and then you just like add you prepare the animals for it, which I've got like a stockpile of them which I have prepared. You just add them to it. You go through it pretty much frame at a time.
Sure.
So it probably takes about 4 or 5 days to do 3 or 4 minutes.
Okay.
But I mean, that's why I kind of like haven't done any recently. But I've got about 100 animations on there from like people who speak on these streams.
Sure.
So,
Okay. Well, I'm going to put the link of your channel in in the main chat. Anybody want to go over there and subscribe and watch those videos? I'm so surprised I've not come across your channel before.
I think everyone knows the Reanimator apart from you, Manny.
I'm so sorry. That's makes me feel as well like a beetle, I suppose.
Yeah.
Open Your Eyes UK. Do you have a YouTube channel, my friend?
Yeah, I've got a YouTube channel on there, but there ain't really much on there. I kind of use YouTube to comment and to talk to other people on.
Okay. Oh, you don't go there. You don't have your own videos. None of these are your videos. If you get me your channel,
there's a couple on there. Hold on a second. Go on, go for that.
That works.
I had one before, but I lost all the signing in details.
Oh, I see. It's not this one. Open Your Eyes UK emergency frequency.
That'll be me. Yeah, well done.
Oh, there you go. All right. Well, let's do a click on subscribe and let me pop that in here as well. So you've lost some of us are on the channel. Sorry, guys. Okay, so these are NHS Test Centre. Okay, anything that we need to be watching, doing a review on here. Open Your Eyes.
Well, luckily the test centre went last week. I was kind of concerned. I was wondering if it was ever going to go, but they got rid of it. It was usual videos where I kept going past, and there was never nobody there. Never. I think how long was it there for? 12 months and 18 months. I've just been told. And I saw one car and 2 people use it.
It's amazing that everyone says the same thing when it comes to those vaccination centres, actually, that they weren't really used as much as they were portraying. But what was interesting, Wendy, who's going to come on in a bit, I think Jupiter and Hassan in the chat, they'll be coming on soon, hopefully. So Wendy used to follow a doctor, I think John Phillip or something, and before he was trying to be fair and analysing the jabs, shall we say. But as soon as he went over and started disclosing, actually these look a bit dangerous and this looks a bit dodgy, and the figures are saying this, she kind of never mentioned him. Mention it again. So Jupiter's saying, Manny, play the video on Sharia rules on TR channel. I don't know what that video is.
No.
I don't know why people are messaging me like there's no tomorrow while I'm on live stream. You think I can really read messages? All right, let's while everyone the rest is coming on, Angel Moon has had a pet emergency. Her neighbour's dog unfortunately has been run over, so she's taken the neighbour and the dog, because her husband's away, the neighbour's husband's away, to the vet, and she'll be joining us slightly later. Anybody else that wants to come on has the link as well. But while you guys are on here, we played the video, Jupiter. Okay, while you guys are here, I want to show you something about how to take a couple of people who don't believe evidence and facts and calls it conspiracy theories, and how to kind of change them into people that see the light. So we're going to start with Raj and Banksy laughing at the prospect of chemical trails or chemtrails being a load of rubbish and a fragment of my imagination, even calling them cum trails, right? So we're going to start off with that, and then the second video, I'll show you how they changed completely after weeks and weeks of evidence.
No, you don't know. Yes, these chemtrails, they've got little aliens in there. They're going to come down, infest your body, and you're going to turn into a plant, like in the Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Again, you know when you've lost the argument, when they start making strawman arguments. That's never been my point in any of these conversations. My point is that why do we always have to have a position that we believe what the official...
No one's saying that, but Banksy made a fair point. What do they gain? It's the same thing I say about flat Earth.
What I'm saying to you is that these things, the people who originally came up with them were not only had nothing to gain, were in fact persecuted, but they were the truth.
But what's your
and
point?
the truth
What's your
simply
point?
like. But the point is that right now, when you're saying that the governments are hiding the fact that the Earth is flat,
When did I
the
say
Earth is
that?
spherical.
When did I say
because
that?
because you said they had nothing
When
to
did I say
gain, but
that? No.
it's not on to us
This
to
is the
figure
thing.
out what. No,
This is
but
the thing.
you made the
you
insinuation.
atheist lefties, right? You
Look,
created
Manny,
these straw man so you can attack it. I
Manny,
haven't said
you
any of
made
that.
the insinuation
Right.
that the government has
In
any
fact,
something
Raj
to
is a lefty
gain.
anyway, because he's happy to.
No, but you
say the book
the thing
burns
is you
happened
make
before the other
insinuations and then
religions, but
pretend.
In fact, I want to apologize to the audience that I'm sitting with these two left wingers.
All right.
Whatever,
So no,
man.
hold on a second. Let me just say something. I don't agree with people that blindly follow what everybody says, the government, scientists, whatever, because they're all men. I also don't agree with people that question every single thing to be some form of conspiracy. There is such a thing like me and Banksy. We're sensible, common sense people that can look at something and say, okay, this COVID thing could have been kind of like overblown.
But Banksy didn't.
But people to blindly follow the government or whatever, you want them to blindly follow these conspiracy theories. And you get upset when we're like, hold on a second, there's no real evidence
You're
there.
making straw man arguments here.
Well, I heard it before. Banksy asked you a very, very common sense question. These chemtrails, yeah, show me the evidence, yeah, that X, Y, Z. And you can't show the evidence. It's just hearsay of people saying we think this. But there's no concrete evidence that you can show him for him to believe it.
Let me answer that then, and listen carefully, right? Listen carefully, both of you listen carefully. Right.
Highlight Purple Effect because he's done a lot of bad today.
Listen.
All right, guys.
Purple Effect's
Well,
done a lot of
1
bad
minute.
today.
There's a
Highlight-
link on the chat.
Hassan, please, let me answer this. Raj, listen carefully without interrupting. We have a structure for the show. The first 5 minutes of it is taken up by a video. The last 5 minutes of... Right, guys, you get the idea, right? They were completely rubbishing the whole thing, calling them chemtrails or whatever it was. So a few weeks later, they come back on, and after calling chemtrails and everything else, this is where we get to. 1 minute, let me just take it back here.
Teach people, innit, about your faith and stuff. So that's why I said to Sikhs, there's no point going. And you know the guy called Bhai Jugaraj Singh, RIP, he went there for like 3 times and he come to the same conclusion. He was smart enough to say, look, this place isn't for religion. It's more of a...
It's very toxic.
One-upmanship of the next person.
Yeah,
sorry,
and
Manny,
also
we
showmanship.
had your conversation. What did Manny want to kind of like...
Yeah, Manny,
can I show you both something very quickly?
It's not chemtrails, is it? Please, I beg you, man.
Oh yeah, he's always got that. He's always got that shit.
I'm really happy that you guys are here. Actually, 1 minute.
He's always.
I saw a bit of your thing on Saturday. It looked a bit dull, actually.
Sunday.
Yeah, not as good as your artwork, mate. Here you go.
Residents in southern Tasmania are demanding to know why cloud seeding was conducted over the Derwent River catchment the day before the worst floods in 40 years. Cloud seeding is a technique used to increase rain. Hydro Tasmania has confirmed it flew a cloud seeding flight despite the weather warnings. Farmers believe the technique could have made the flooding worse. The Premier says a formal inquiry will be held into the effects and handling of the floods if it's necessary.
That was
I don't dispute that. I mean, I don't know if you want me to. I agree. There are machines out there. We've seen them. Where China has created a fake sun that literally can have the same kind of power as the sun for 1 second. It doesn't last long, but they've managed to do it.
What does this say underneath this image? Can anybody see what it says?
I'm traveling in that.
It says they bukkake the air.
So I mean, I've actually butchered that, but the point was they were both together. They were both debating. Well, they weren't debating. They were ridiculing me, saying it was all made up in the first video, that they do not exist. It's all part of natural aeroplane fuel output and the rest of it. And you see, if you go back and watch this video, you'll see that they do a complete U-turn, and they actually end the argument by saying, Well, there's no evidence if the chemtrails are actually leaving anything negative, right? And all I did was kept showing them more and more information as the weeks passed, and slowly but surely, they, their minds changed. I mean, Raj came back and he was talking about the Chinese, so I think he may have gone away and done some extra reading, and I think that's a great place to start the show, because if Banksy, who's a complete, I mean, I was kind of poking fun at him, calling him an atheist. My point is that a lot of atheists that are kind of out of touch seem to be the followers of Bill Gates, right? And I think that's where it all goes wrong. Because the other video I was going to show, I won't now, was the Bill Gates video where he actually confirms that he's modifying the weather to block out the sun. What do you guys think of that?
Well, it depends what you think the purpose is for, really. Because if you're saying that it's making frogs gay, or sort of like making people infertile, that's completely different to like interfering with the weather, because we know that we can change the weather. You know, it's not that isn't news.
Yeah, no, what they were saying, that there's no such thing as chemtrails. There's no such thing as chemtrails, and I was trying to show to them that the difference between contrails, which is what aeroplanes leave behind as a result of jet engines, and chemtrails, which is cloud seeding, which is the official terminology, or aerosol strategic. What is it? Strategic aerosol injection, which is again what chemtrails are. There is a difference, and it has been going on. I mean, I've done a lot of research on this. If people sorry,
it's about what the purpose is for, though. What are you saying the purpose is?
Well, the purpose is weather modification. Seems to be the same principle. People can go and Google things like that. I mean, there's one guy who is a CEO. He's American, of all the main weather modification companies. I can share this research with you guys right now if you really want me to. But he owns 52 companies, and those companies work in different parts of the world. So you can Google weather modification in India. You can Google weather modification in, I think it's Zaire or South Africa.
So you're not claiming it's making frogs go gay?
No, that conspiracy that you're referring to, which is, again, I have the scientific report for that, was actually conducted in a pond. Sorry?
Was conducted in a pond?
Yeah, so they put in plastic chemicals in a pond, and what the scientists found, that the male frogs started attempting to have sexual intercourse with other male frogs. So
that's plastic, isn't it? That's plastic. That's not chemtrails.
I don't know why you're getting the link from chemtrails on this other study. I haven't made that link.
Oh, right, yeah. I mean, so you're the only thing that you're pushing is these chemtrails can change the weather.
Well, no. I mean, according to the people that are conducting these experiments, they themselves are saying that's what they're doing.
Well, after 9/11 happened and there's no aeroplanes in the sky, they did notice like a change in the temperature. Because there's no.
Because they're using aluminium and silver apparently to reflect sun rays.
Well, the thing is, sort of like, you don't have to use aluminium and silver to sort of like change the temperature of what's below. Just the normal sort of like contrails, which is basically steam, isn't it? Condensation out the back of the aeroplanes. They produce like a man-made cloud, and that reflects the sun back up off the Earth before it hits the planet, basically. So you don't need. I mean, obviously, you can sort of like put aluminium and silver in there if you wanted to. It might make it more.
Yeah, but I'm only regurgitating of the things that I've come across. I'm not one of those people that actually are part of these experiments. So I can only go with what I'm saying. But I'll show this video. Actually, I won't play it, but I'll share the screen with you guys. So this is the Russell Brand video that people can go watch, which he's talking about Bill Gates, how he's using. Well, he said the official release was. What was the official release? That they are experimenting with various different techniques of weather modification, right? So people can actually go watch this video, and he talks about it in a very commercial way because it's Russell Brand. Obviously, he's not going to. Maybe we'll play it from here actually.
Because presumably there's information in there that would, in one way or another, unsettle us. So, do you not think it's at least possible that when it comes to things like weather manipulation, we don't know the whole story? Now, this is a little piece in Forbes that ties your favourite and mine, Bill Gates, this story. Some people have already said that this has been subject to fact checks and that it ain't entirely straightforward, but I'm going to read it out to you anyway, and you could decide. Microsoft's billionaire founder, Bill Gates, is financially backing the development of a sun-dimming technology like Mr. Burns. It doesn't say that, but that was in The Simpsons.
Since the beginning of time, man has yearned to destroy.
So that would say that they're experimenting, right? But then you come across information like this. I don't know why it's not going over. Switch over. Well, this is an article. Once it gets there, it's here we go. Rain-free wedding. UK firm will use cloud seeding to keep rain away for 100,000. Right. So this is already happening. And I mean, I've got this one. I can show this one BBC. I won't show the. Actually, let me just find the BBC article. Bear with me. Block.
I heard about this cloud seeding about 30 years ago. So to me,
right.
This isn't a conspiracy.
Right. Well, according to some people, it is because they won't believe.
Well, some people think that it's not just to do with like the weather. Some people think that they're sort of like spraying poisons on us, and that's a conspiracy.
Do you believe they do?
I don't think that they're spraying poisons on us. I mean, they might well have done. It's possible. It's plausible. I mean, not necessarily on us, and maybe sort of like 30, 40 years ago, even during Vietnam. I mean, God knows what the Americans were like throwing on people. They're throwing everything on people, weren't they? So it depends what and where, really.
Open your eyes, UK, you were going to say?
But you've kind of already like hit upon it. You mentioned aluminium, chemicals like aluminium. Well, there's been lots of scientific research done that if that gets into, as it falls and it goes into the ground and food grows from the ground, that gets into the food supply. You also get, as you breathe in. Now, there's been scientific research done that aluminium's not very good for your brain. There's been links done to later causes of Alzheimer's. And that's kind of what people are scared of. What are these? You said these chemicals. They're not needed to do what they're doing. So why are these chemicals coming out of planes?
Well, we can test it though, can't we? We can test the ground if we wanted to. I could go up the road to the local farm and do a ground and earth test and see if there's aluminium there. I mean, that's something that we can actually do. Then there might be some evidence to back it, really.
Okay, it's funny we're having this conversation actually, because I've actually got a very interesting video to share. I wonder if I can, that's just a full video. I don't know if you guys, here it is. So do you know there was a mist, a red mist, they were saying there was, what were they saying? That there was dust coming from the Sahara Desert. Do you remember that?
Years ago, when it kind of gets blown over in bad weather, type of thing.
Yeah, let me see if I can. And there was somebody that did a video with collecting that dust, and it was magnetic. Oh, actually, got it here. If I can transfer it to myself onto the Mac.
But I mean, iron is magnetic, isn't it? and that's the majority.
Iron, yes, but it's the metal. Okay, so let me see if I can share this first. All right, share screen, window. I think we do PNG. So you guys remember this? There was a red mist. We all woke up and there was a red mist everywhere, and they were saying that something brought over from the Sahara Desert.
Yeah, vaguely. How long ago was that?
Sorry?
How long ago was that?
Oh, literally about a couple of months ago.
Oh,
March.
Right, I don't remember that.
Do you remember that Open Your Eyes UK?
I've seen photos of it on Opera News or Oprah News, however it is. Obviously, they didn't mention what you said about magnetic, but I remember seeing the photos. I knew it was this year sometime.
Yeah. So that what the official story was. Now let me show you a video of some bloke that did an experiment. Let me just get that. Let me just close this. Just two videos. Okay, not that one. Maybe it's this one. Yes, this one. So this is the brief video. I won't play the full video because it goes on a bit because he's collecting all the things and what have you. But here we go.
Right, there's a pile I scraped up. Okay.
So he's collecting all the so-called dust coming over from the cars because all the cars in London were covered like this.
Now I put that over there with the magnet on it. Okay. Take the magnet away. Take the magnet away. All the dust falls over. Right.
Right, we saw that, right? So he put a magnet to it, and I was like, that can't be true. That cannot be true. But there was so much of this red dust everywhere, so I gave it a go. So this is my actual own video, right? So this is not like coming from a third party. This is, I collected this, brought it to my desk. I can show you my hands if you want a verification of my hands. And this is I had a very weak magnet on that, and hopefully you'll be able to see it. It's not as blatant as that guy. You'll see a freckle, a few bits of this just going up, and I didn't even touch the sand with it. I just hovered over it. There you go. Did you see it? Did you see that? Yeah. I didn't even touch the sand, and I just hovered over it. So wow. In response to what Rainer Mater was saying, I don't know if they are or not. Or I know that sand shouldn't be magnetic.
I'm not a scientist, but okay, you've got things like static, haven't you? I mean, things pick up static. Yeah, I mean, as I said, I'm not a scientist. I wouldn't know what that is really.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on that Open Your Eyes UK?
It kind of reminds. Did you see the videos coming out last year? Do you know when America had all the freak snowstorms and people were scraping snow off their cars, and they were actually able to light it? Did you see that?
Yeah. I saw a video. Was that real?
Well, people in this country on, admittedly, places like TikTok, and they were scraping snow and doing the same. There seemed to be too many videos, kind of people testing like you did there, and that kind of reminded me of it. It makes you wonder what's in the stuff.
Indeed. But before I forget, I've got to make a couple of announcements, a couple of redactions, a couple of corrections. First of all, it's concerning Mandy Mosley. So in Monday's stream, it was claimed during the stream that she was blind, that she runs a foundation of some sort, and that she was a relation to the racist and former member of parliament, Victor Mosley. So Mandy Mosley has been in touch with Speaker's Corner, and so apologies for any of these, incorrect items that we covered. She's not blind, she's partially sighted. That is a huge difference. And also, she does not run a foundation. I mixed her up with another person called Maggie Oliver. So sorry about that, Mandy. And also, it was claimed on the Monday show that she was related to Victor Mosley, but Mandy informs us that she, in fact, is the granddaughter of Percy Mosley, spelt differently and spelt in accordance to the Jewish tradition, and not with the same spellings as Victor. I don't know if Base Welshman is in the chat. I need to apologize to Base Welshman. Yes, we did use your footage, and yes, we did forget to give you credit. So a slap on the wrist for me for those two mistakes. So, gentlemen, moving forward, we do have a list of things that we can go through. Is there anything gripping for you guys that you want to cover? I know Open Your Eyes UK, you already have a list, but we can go through that. Rainer, mate, anything that you want to cover that's urgent from your side?
Not really, but I mean, I did have a chat with Open Your Eyes earlier this week. And I was quite firm with him. He might have thought I was a little bit rude. If I was rude, I apologise, but sometimes I get a little bit frustrated with these things. But yeah, we were talking about the moon, wasn't we?
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, and you put on a video with men walking on the moon, and you said that they had strings attached to them, and you could tell this because of a flash coming from the top of their backpack.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I pointed out to you that flash came from where their aerials are on the backpack. Yeah. And then you said to me, I've never seen a backpack with an aerial on. Then I said to you, oh, here's an image of the spacesuit with a backpack with an aerial. And there's like loads of videos with the spacesuit with an aerial on the back, but you were certain you'd never seen an aerial on a backpack before. So that's kind of where the argument kind of like started.
Not on the official photos, which you later said was studio photos, which kind of makes no sense.
No. I said that it is possible that for special photo shoots of like there might well have been some studio photo shoots and like which weren't taken on the moon, but that's called a reenactment, and they do that for magazines. They've been doing it for like hundreds of years, whether it's being in paintings reenacting a certain battle, or in the Second World War they might do a reenactment on film just to show people, give people an impression, and it's like on special photo shoots and magazines. They might have well have done that for some moon photos as well. That's what I meant. But that doesn't mean that we didn't go to the moon. But Manny, can I show you the video that this is?
I'm going to say, tell Manny to put the video up. Manny, put the video up.
If you want to share it, let's while you sort the video out, let's get a hello from Wendy. Hello, Wendy.
Hi, love. Hi, everyone.
Hello, Wendy.
Yes,
Hello.
I'm with you. Hi, I'm with you on this one. TR, yes, definitely.
Yeah, criminals always hang around together in twos.
But yeah, if you play the video that we're talking about, you'll understand what we mean. And I think at some point in it, you'll see a flash of light, and it looks like an aerial that's caught the sun.
How do you, before you do it, how do you explain, right, how he looks like the astronaut falls down as you would fall down on the Earth's surface, and then strangely sort of levitates up as if being pulled?
I've never been on the moon. I couldn't tell
No,
you
exactly.
how it should be.
Put it on. Put astronauts on strings. That's it.
To me,
Hang
it's
on.
like,
Wait a minute. How do we know this is from the moon landing?
Because it
Does
is.
Does it look fake to you as well, Wendy?
No, I'm just asking whoever told you to play this video, because I can't see anywhere where it says it's from the actual moon landing.
yeah, but I think it is. But I gave Manny that link. But you can actually see the aerial every now and then anyway on this. But there's one bit, I think it's towards the end, where the sun really captures it. There you go, there.
That's the time they went to play golf on the moon. Official NASA.
I mean,
That does not look like an official NASA video.
Does it look fake to you, Wendy?
You can tell it's real because it looks so fake.
No, that does not look like an official NASA footage. Yeah.
Oh right, yeah, it's not official, but I think it is real footage.
It's real NASA footage.
To me, this looks like people struggling in 1/6 gravity.
What do you think, Manny?
Oh.
Have you got the bit where he comes down the ladder or out of this thing?
See that bit there? There's yeah.
I must admit it doesn't seem very it doesn't seem 100% convincing to me.
I've never seen that footage before.
Manny, Google image NASA training facility and have a look how they train underwater and how they use harnesses.
How about Google show a video of the actual moon landing, yeah? Not that, whatever that was.
That's equally as funny.
Why are you insisting that they didn't land on the moon? What's your problem? I don't understand.
Because all the evidence goes against it.
No, rubbish.
All the evidence of the moon landing goes against it.
Goes for it. All the evidence goes for it.
Have you ever seen the Manny? Google first footprint on the moon. Go to Google Images. Go first footprint on the moon.
But first off, Open Your Eyes said to me he's never seen an aerial on the back of a backpack, and he insisted upon that. That's how it kind of started.
I said I've never seen
the moon.
one.
Open Your Eyes. Is that it? You've been to the moon.
I said I've never seen an official one. The one they use on Time magazine, everything has not got an aerial. That's what I said. I even posted things from NASA where they were showing you the backpack and what they did, and there was no aerial. If you look down my page, you'll see the evidence I throwed up. He's jumping on that one spot when I threw a ton of evidence up. Right? Now, that's the first footprint on the moon, yeah? That's the first footprint on the moon. Now delete that and type in Neil Armstrong spacesuit. Underneath, you'll see Neil Armstrong spacesuit has apparently been looked after in an air-conditioned box, right? And been looked after. Now, in this air-conditioned glass box, right, it's somehow, even though it's designed for the moon and to go to space, somehow the threading's coming loose. So the museum got greedy and they dragged it out.
Space suits or something.
Hold on, and they dragged it out so that we could have a look at it, so see the stitching's all dodgy. Right now, we're trying to find a picture where we can see the palm of his foot. right?
Yeah.
The bottom of his actual foot is a picture of the moon. It's not stripy. So how does a boot? There you go. That's the bottom of his boot. Look. How did they get that stripy footprint on the moon?
Are you for real?
Now I'm asking you quite a good question. If that's the bottom of his footprint there with the moon
Well,
on it,
how
it's
do
a
you
picture
know
of the
that
moon.
wouldn't come up as a stripy footprint? You don't know that.
Hey? A round circle print, how do I know it wouldn't come up? It might be the moon, but surely a print's the same. That's like saying,
Not
if
really,
you let
not really,
me...
because it's different gravity. Everything's different on the moon, isn't it?
So circles turn into straight lines in dust?
No, I haven't actually been on the moon or walked on the moon, but everything is different on the moon.
Then why do you have an opinion, Wendy, if you don't know anything about the moon?
No, I didn't say I don't know. No, you see, Manny, clever, right? I didn't say I don't know anything about the moon. I said I have never been to the moon.
So therefore, you only know about the moon what you've been fed.
No, what I've learnt, not fed. I'm not going to fall into your little trap, Manny.
Often when there's things missing from artifacts, they'll replace it with something else. So they probably got like a full suit, but didn't get his boots. They chucked on some other boots there. I mean, it's not conclusive evidence if you're looking for a footprint match. I mean, in museums,
in the same way that your flash isn't conclusive evidence that it was the owl, it's a probability, but still not conclusive.
It's a very high probability because that flash happened exactly where that aerial was. And that's.
But wouldn't that be the best place to, if you had a hook there, then put?
Of course, you'd say that because tinfoil hatters say that they'll go from one thing to the other. As soon as you've proven one thing, they'll jump onto the next thing.
You haven't proven nothing. You've given a possibility. A possibility. That is not true.
No, I gave you a very good explanation.
And that tinfoil hat comment, I've just heard somebody not into conspiracy tell me that circle prints can turn into straight line.
Did the Russian cosmonauts, did they land on the moon or not?
No.
No, they didn't land on the moon either. Okay.
That was the first spacewalk.
We can move on to that next thing about the shadows. And you're saying that with the astronaut coming down, coming off the lunar lander, which was behind where the sun was, you said that you shouldn't be able to see him. It should be all black because he's.
I never said that.
Well, no.
Now you're just making things up. Go to my page if you want. Now you're just making things up. I said that picture that Manny just showed, the picture of Neil Armstrong, where you can see the reflection in his spacesuit. Inside there, all the shadows for the moon lander, the shadows for the astronauts, and everything lying around are going a different way. How's that possible with one light source? I never said anything about that one that you might have showed me a video and said that disproves everything I'm talking about, but I never actually talked about him coming down those steps.
Yeah, but shadows work differently depending what the shadow's coming from. Shadows don't always lean just like one way. It depends on the shape of the thing the shadow's coming off of.
But if it's got one light source, it takes multiple light sources to make multiple distances of shadow.
Now, you see, those pictures look more realistic.
What pictures are you talking about anyway?
The one I put up from Time magazine, the one where you can see in Neil Armstrong's visor, you get the reflection back, the one we was talking about.
Yeah, and that's where I was saying sort of like, it's quite plausible that people use reenactments and sort of like shot these things on Earth.
But why would you do that?
There's an old movie called Capricorn 1 where they do exactly that. Yeah. And I think that's where this conspiracy comes from, to be honest.
Because the photograph which Open Your Eyes is talking about, it's a really high-res photograph that has been used on magazines.
Yeah,
and it is quite plausible with all the film footage and photographs that were done on Earth that they might have used something just for promotion and marketing.
So why say it's done on the moon then?
What's that?
They're not going around and say this was a photo shoot, we're doing this for marketing. Why do they in the first place? If you've been to the moon, why do it?
Well, because they can get better photograph.
So hang on. So apart from saying they didn't go to the, you're saying that Neil Armstrong spent all his life lying. Is that what you're trying to say as well?
And Buzz Aldrin, they're all Freemasons.
Oh, right.
They've all
So they were all liars, were they?
Okay, do you remember that?
They're taking oaths.
Remember that film?
22 billion pound a year. NASA gets 22 billion pound a year, and that's the reason why they do it.
Public annoyance. You've got something playing in the background. We can get feedback. We're receiving feedback from you. You might need to mute that.
I can give you another link, Manny.
Sure.
Okay.
Hello, evening, guys.
Hi, Andy. How you
Get
doing?
rid of your noise.
We're getting some noise from your some background noise from you, mate.
I haven't got the technology no more to go to the land. To the moon.
Right. This next link is from Space Odyssey. 2001 Space Odyssey, and that was in 1968.
Rainmaker, just 1 second. Andy.
I'm getting one here.
Andy.
Mute him, Manny. Mute him till he sorts himself out.
Andy.
Okay.
Right, go ahead, Rainmaker. You put the. All right. So this is a video.
From 2001 Space Odyssey. That was from 1968. Okay, and they spent over £10 million dollars to make this film, and that's like $83 million in today's money. And you have a look at the way they did man walking on the moon. Just play it, because
my mic was muted. That's why.
Hi, we can hear you, Andy. How you doing? Andy, can you hear us? All right, we'll continue.
Houston.
I'm really confused now.
Andy.
look at these effects. So basically, with all the film technology, this is the best they could do for like 1/6 gravity on the moon in 1968 on a high budget film.
Yeah, you can see that's fake, can't you? Yeah.
It looks more real than that moon landing we just watched.
Oh, you think so?
That wasn't no moon landing, Manny. You should find the moon landing.
I don't really like watching fiction, I'm going to be honest.
Yeah. It's not fiction, it's fact.
Can you prove that? You've never been there?
No, I've never been there, but yes.
So why didn't Sandy Kubrick do the special effects for 1/6 gravity in Space Odyssey?
Tim Peake, the British astronaut, he sells moon rock at £60 a pop, £60 a go. Yeah.
But hasn't recently someone was a Neil Armstrong or somebody gave somebody a moon rock and then they've done analysis on it and it was fake? It's apparently some rock from a mountain or something.
Petrified wood.
It's
Petrified wood. It was tested and it was petrified wood. It was delivered by Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin.
It's just a hoax that tinfoil hat is full for.
It couldn't be a hoax because it was in the communist newspaper called the Guardian newspaper.
Look, we went to the moon. The Americans went to the moon, landed on the moon, and that's the end of that. And all you conspiracy theorists can carry on, right? We know what happened.
Google, right? Moon rock. Neil Armstrong delivered petrified wood, and you don't even have to look to find. You don't even have to look to find a news report.
Yes, but you do get the conspiracy theories on Google. Open your eyes.
I mean, the Google question where it says the question, it'll tell you it tells you everything. I love how people shout tinfoil hat, right? When they obviously haven't done the basics of looking into it.
I know that Russians followed the mission there, and if they thought we had gone on the moon, the Russians.
Boom. Tinfoil hat.
What?
Well, apparently tinfoil hat. Look, there it is. Turns out to be fake. It's petrified wood, and we're meant to believe that the moon's made out of wood.
Yeah, this is like you're saying that somebody gave something to somebody, and there's no real accounts for it. Somebody got fooled along the way.
Somebody gave something to somebody. It was delivered by Buzz Aldrin and Neil Armstrong to a museum, right? So that's not somebody to. That's not like Fred giving it to Jack at the pub.
What's this? Yeah, well, they're probably having a laugh. It doesn't mean anything.
Come on, that's not an explanation. That's not an explanation. Come on, we have to admit. We have to admit.
No, I've got the real footage here. So what we will do
about the door number.
We will have a look at the real footage.
Let Andy speak because he's been quiet. Andy, what are you saying, mate? Andy, can you turn the stream in the background off so we can hear you?
I think I've got a delay going on here. My internet's not great. Wasn't there something about the hotel?
Got your YouTube tab on.
Like Neil Armstrong. When he was questioned, he attacked. Right, the stream's off. I can't hear back. There was something about the hotel with the room numbers and Neil Armstrong, and when he was questioned, he attacked the guy that was questioning him.
Yeah, he was given a Bible and asked to swear in the Bible that he went to the moon.
Have you put it on there, Manny? It's on the screen.
I'd have punched him as well.
It was Buzz Aldrin.
I'll show you. There you go.
Buzz Aldrin punched him.
Hang on. Let's have a look at the real moon landing, shall we?
Hold on, why have we jumped from the obvious problem in denting your armor? Fake ones.
Depressed in the surface about 1 or 2 inches, although the surface appears to be very, very fine grained as you get close to it. It's almost like a powder. Ground mass is very fine. And then a long one.
Almost like powder, yet he finds petrified wood.
Okay, I'm going to leave that 1 foot up there and both hands down about the 4th rung up. There you go.
There's plenty of articles saying that petrified wood.
You know, I think I'll do the same. For those who haven't read the plan,
okay, can we just pause this for a second?
Yeah.
We've got a special appearance on. Just pause that. Where's it gone? Banksy, where? Shit, where you gone, Banksy? Come back. Oh.
Can I just have like 10 seconds? Can I just have 10 seconds? If the Russians thought we never made it to the moon, they'd be the first people to tell us we didn't make it to the moon.
True.
Okay, Banksy.
Hey guys, sorry to interrupt the conspiracy meeting with like real life shit, like actually going and meeting people and being in the real world and all that shit.
How you doing, Banksy? Good to see you.
I'm all good. I just wanted to pop in just to say hi. You know, I'm not deserting you completely, man. It's just, there are more interesting things that are happening behind me than the fucking moon landing. Priorities and all that shit, you know?
Fair enough, mate. Fair enough.
I tell you, I swear, in all honesty, I wish you were all here. It would have been an insane night if you were all here. I am going to personally get drunk for every one of you so that, you know, you can vicariously live through me.
Thank you very much. Just imagine I'm buying you a drink, but I'm not.
All right, guys, I'm out of here, and I just want to say hi. Welcome, everyone on the panel and all that shit, and yeah, great time. YOLO, baby.
Thanks. See you later, mate.
Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye. There you go. Sorry, Wendy. Let's.
That's all right.
What's he doing? Waiting tables.
Sorry, somebody wanted to come in before we put the screen back on. Somebody wanted to say something. I know. Open Your Eye says why we jumped from the fake moon rock over to the moon landing. Was there any other point to be made before we put Wendy's video back on?
I just thought it would be good to see the actual moon landing. Yes.
Didn't you find it a bit weird though? He looked a bit transparent as he was coming down the ladders. You could see the hill. What? How often are you transparent?
That was live. That's live.
Underneath it says, "Dear man from the planet Earth, first step foot upon the moon, July 1969, AD. He came in peace." I guess you're about the only person around that doesn't have TV coverage of the scene. That's all right, I don't mind a bit. How is the quality of the TV? Oh, it's beautiful, Mike. It really is. Oh, geez, that's great. Is the lighting halfway decent?
That flag looks
great. They've got the flag up now, and you can see the stars and stripes on the
flaps. No atmosphere, and it's flapping away.
It's very windy on the moon. Isn't
That was a bit different to what you showed, wasn't it? Have you got any proof to go against that? Then Open Your Eyes.
That isn't the standard flag.
Are you wondering where the wind's coming from on the flag?
Well, how do you know there's no wind on that?
Andy, did you want to come in and say something?
There's two things. Out in space, you've got solar wind, haven't you? Solar wind. And also on that flag, the top part of it, it's got a rod on it to make it stand out. So it's not just like a floppy flag. They've reinforced the top bit to make it stand sideways.
But we still didn't finish this conversation. How could a fake moon rock be given by the man who went to the moon?
There's other stories on Google that will tell you something completely different.
Exactly. You're going to get the conspiracy theories on Google.
But Google itself will tell you exactly what's on that screen now, and many other papers, and they all tell you the same. You know, that's from the BBC. I know the BBC's full of shite, but that's the BBC. Normally, you'd expect that to be going standard narrative, but it's not. None of it makes sense.
But if we can't make an opinion from the information presented to us, then we shouldn't have an opinion about anything.
But the thing is, that rock or whatever it is, that doesn't sort of like tell us that we didn't go to the moon. All it does is tell us that somebody gave something to somebody, and we don't know the full history of it.
True. That's a fair point.
It means the people who went to the moon are willing to commit fraud because they gave something that was fake.
That's true as well.
Yeah, but that's not the only bit of moon rock that they've given to people. There's other people have got moon rock. I think the British Museum have got moon rock, and for some reason, it only seems to be this one place in Holland, is it, or somewhere?
Is that because that's the only one that's tested their moon rock by any chance?
I'm not going to go. You could probably like test all of them.
Well, if you've got doubts, it's ideal to test all of them. If you've got it in your head that you don't need to test it because everything really happened.
I'm convinced that because Russia said that we went to the moon, and then they haven't said anything other than confirming it. If they believed for 1 second that we didn't go to the moon, they would tell us about it. And they
you really believe that?
Yeah, I do believe that. Why would Russia go?
They're making just as much money out of a fake space program as America. Why would they kick themselves in the teeth?
That's what Tinfoil Hat will do. You say you give them something like reasonable to like work with, and then you like jump sideways and go down another route. Try and get down there. I think it's very reasonable.
Everything you say raises questions. That's why.
No, you say, "Oh well, the Russians might be making like lose money from it themselves." There's no.
Do you know how much NASA makes a year off the taxpayer in America?
That's this can take us down like a route because it's got nothing to do with it. All I know is that Russia would not give credit to America for getting man on the moon if America didn't do it. They wouldn't do it. Russia and America, they're rivals. Russia would be the first people to say, call them out for it. They wouldn't be patting them on the back going, "Oh, well done." I mean, they had the equipment to sort of like track them to the moon and back again. And also sort of, there's been like robots like on the moon as well, sort of doing flybys who've taken photos of the area where you can actually see where they actually landed anyway.
Do you honestly believe all these photos and everything that they apparently send us?
What's that?
Do you believe all the photos and everything they send us?
I don't believe everything we're told, no. But some things just make sense. And for me, like Russia confirming it is quite big to me, really.
Oh, well, you're right there, TR.
We've just lived.
An opinion on that open your eyes, or the Russians lying too.
And
well, we've just lived through a really, really revealing time. We've just gone through all that pandemic. Well, strangely, every single world leader was on
in your opinion about the pandemic. That's not everyone's opinion.
It's my opinion as well.
Oh, I know it's your opinion, Manny. I know.
I mean, the moon landings.
All the world leaders, either way, no matter what your opinion is, all the world leaders jumped onto the same bandwagon, and they all started to doing the same things, breaking human rights, which lockdown helped 0.2% of people in this country.
I know.
It really broke the economy. Now they all did the same things, right? Which looked like they were cashing in from Pfizer, who made £37 billion during the same 12 months. Right? Now that proves to us that it ain't necessarily the Russian government, the UK government, the American government. It seems to be like there's a much bigger shadow government in control of all these governments.
Well, that's because you're nuts. You to say such a thing is crazy, honestly.
Well, no, there is WEF and like globalism. So I mean,
I'm on about the pandemic, right?
All right.
Nothing else. If they wanted to truly harm people, they could have found a better and quicker way of doing it. I mean, really, for God's sake.
They use it to
That's
control.
not what they wanted to do, is it? That's not what they wanted to do. They want to introduce some sort of digital ID, right? They try to do it in every single way. They're trying to get rid of cash. Most of the places around here, you couldn't even spend cash. It had to be your card. Wouldn't accept cash because apparently COVID lives on notes, right, and lives on coins. So you couldn't use cash, even though you were still getting letters sent through your letterbox. People licking the birthday card, sending it through your letterbox. None of that was stopped. They didn't even question letters coming in through your letterbox. They're still trying to get rid of cash now. The Daily Mail said that Britain, this was last year, the Daily Mail said Britain will be a cashless society within 3 years, right? They're trying to bring in the digital ID, right? They're going to mix it in with a medical ID, which is why now your doctor will share your medical. If you didn't ask them not to, will share your medical documents with third parties, right? Because it's all coming down to this digital ID.
I completely agree with all this globalization and the WEF and the Soros and all that. I do completely understand it, so I'm with you on that. But that's different from the moon landings. You know, to me,
it's not to prove to us all these governments. You said the Russians would have told us if America never went to the moon landing. Number one, they've got a space program. Being fraudulent, which it probably is, right, is making just as much money as NASA. So they're not going to give themselves a financial kick in the teeth. Also, with the pandemic, every single one of these nations were exactly the same.
So the 1 million people that died from COVID in America, they
Boris
didn't die
Johnson
then?
lying to you?
They didn't
Pardon?
die. The 1 million people that died from COVID in America, they didn't die.
I don't know what America's official number is, but if you go to Dr. Vernon Coleman, right?
I wouldn't go to any doctor that you told me to go to.
Official paperwork. He read the official paperwork from the .gov website, and in this country, you got to be careful with the words, right? Millions of people died with COVID. When it comes to from COVID, right? From COVID, it was something like 17,000 people.
No, millions of people haven't died with COVID or from COVID in this country. I don't know where
then,
you got
so
those
what's the
figures
average
from.
age of death? Let's see your numbers then. What's the average age of death?
82.
Of COVID?
82.
82. 82.
What you saying?
Why were they saying everybody has got to have a vaccine, and why are they now pushing it for children if the average age is 82 and the younger you are, the safer it is?
They overinflated COVID deaths. They added people who were dying of something else who had COVID. They added those as COVID deaths. I know that. That's not conspiracy.
Well, we've got somebody on the panel who totally disagrees. To the person on the panel, conspiracy. What we're talking conspiracy.
You said millions of people have died. Would supposedly have died from COVID in this country. No, they haven't. I haven't seen that.
In the
from
UK,
means they had a positive test. That's all from means. They could have got run over by a car if they had a positive test. That would have been putting the numbers with COVID. From
so are you
is
saying
totally
COVID
different.
didn't exist
From
at all
means,
then?
hold on. From means just COVID. They died of just the infection.
Okay, so
with,
are you saying
they could have
COVID
died
doesn't
of
exist?
anything, but they had a positive test.
Well, it's not as
Are
harmful.
you
as
saying
what
COVID doesn't exist?
I think he's saying it's not as harmful as what they made out. So I think in the UK,
it's very hard to answer that question.
In the UK, they originally said like 170,000 people died from COVID, but the real figures were 17,000 in 2 years. So the actual figures only is about 10% of what the official figure was. But this isn't being hidden from the public now. You can actually find this out.
Well, I think the proof will be when the when we get to autumn again, and if they try rolling out another batch of vaccines.
They try. COVID's real, but they overscared us. Now, when it first came out, we had the Nightingale Hospital being built, that a big temporary one to like deal with the overflow. They had like people digging extra graves and everything, and in the end, they didn't like even use Nightingale Hospital. You know, so obviously when it first came out, they didn't know what they were dealing with, but then it turned out to only sort of like there was like 99.9% recovery rate. You know, which is like what flu is.
99.7.
Yeah, so something ridiculous. But because they like made all these vaccines, and you got like people in the American government like Nancy Pelosi, when they put shares in Pfizer, so they produced like so much Pfizer that they ended up with like too much Pfizer. And they had to like get people to like use it, otherwise they'd lose all their money. There was definitely profiteering in that. So I mean, I'm not against. I mean, it sounds like a conspiracy theory, but to me, that's a conspiracy fact. That one is. You know, so
37 billion in 12 months they made profit. Pfizer, 37
You're
billion.
more worried about the profit they made than the people that were ill or died, correct?
Well, ask yourself why people were if you were, I believe these are straight out my head, right? If you were under 64, right, and healthy, not obese and healthy, right, you had a 99.7% chance of full recovery without the vaccine. Right?
So how come a lot of people of 45 were dying? What's that about then?
Then maybe you should look into that a little bit more.
But recently it's come out that 2,000 people have been killed because of the vaccine in the UK.
Yes, true. Blood clots and many other things.
I don't know what to believe about the vaccine. I'm not arguing over that because...
Yeah, I mean, this was on GB News. They were like open about it. You won't actually hear it on BBC News. But yeah, they're talking about it the other day. And there's people coming forward who like lost husbands and wives in their sort of like 40s and 50s. And because some people have a reaction to it might inflame the heart. It's kind of like but you can find it out. But apparently, I mean, you can double check.
It's myocarditis, isn't it?
Yeah. So they're saying about 2,000 people have died of that just in the UK. So it's all going to come out sort of really big and everything. So, but I mean, COVID was a nonsense anyway, really. Because
what I don't understand about the vaccine, it's the fact that even when fully vaccinated people, when they go to hospital, they've got to do a COVID test.
Yeah.
Then they've got to isolate for 3 days if they've got to have an operation, and then they can go in and have their operation. I really don't understand that. A vaccine to me, a vaccine to me is something you get and off you go. So I don't like calling it a vaccine. I don't know what it is, but it's not a vaccine.
I'm one that actually. I like to trust our own immune system because we've lived with different viruses for like hundreds of millions of years, you know, and we wouldn't be here today if our own immune system was crap. So, must admit, I did have one jab, but that was more for the sake of other people around me. But that I ended up with a really bad headache for about 4 days.
Yeah, I had one jab, but then I started looking into it, and I thought I don't think so, because they were saying, well, it doesn't stop you from getting it, it doesn't stop you from passing it on, it doesn't this, it doesn't that, it doesn't the other. So to me, it was a pointless exercise.
It was circular reasoning. It's like wearing a raincoat in a storm to make sure nobody else gets wet. You know what I mean? It makes no sense. If somebody has a vaccine, it should protect them. They shouldn't be worried about everyone else not having a vaccine. That's not how vaccines work.
Yeah. So to me, sort of like that is very much different from like whether we went to the moon or not.
Oh, totally, yeah.
And it's like what I find with like hardcore conspiracy theorists is like every conspiracy that gets put in front of them, they'll grab it and they'll run with it. Every single one, and they won't be. I mean, they won't sort of like it's not discerning on. You know, they don't think about it too much. Every conspiracy is a conspiracy, and that is what I call a tinfoil hatter, because everything that's put in front of them they'll run with, whereas 1 out of 10 might be a conspiracy, but with tinfoil hatter it'll be 10 out of 10. That's what really bugs me.
You were telling us we was tinfoil hats for petrified wood moon rocks given by Neil Armstrong a minute ago. So where is that level of a tinfoil hatter exactly? When the tinfoil hatter proves you wrong, is he then still a tinfoil hatter or not?
No, that bit of wood or whatever it was they had doesn't prove that we didn't go to the moon. There's more evidence to say that we went to the moon than that.
Show me some then. Show me some then. Evidence that we went to the moon.
I told you that the evidence for like Russia confirming it is really good evidence for it. That's all I need to know. Because
so why didn't Russia tell us that the vaccine wasn't working? That was what that was all about.
Wait a minute, let's stay on one subject, right? So we've seen the footage. Hang on,
it's one subject.
Wait a minute, no, sorry. Because we've seen the footage of the actual moon landing. Can you prove that was fake? What I showed. Can you prove that did not happen?
I'd like to know how he
by looking at the bottom of a boot.
I'd like to know why he was transparent as he came down. I did say that. I asked you why he was transparent. You said I don't know.
That's live footage.
Yeah, that's as it was happening.
So it wasn't clear.
So you become So am I transparent? As this is live footage, am I transparent now?
Well, you're not as I mean, he wasn't that transparent. What are you talking
about? We're sort of like living in 2021.
We're not scientists or fucking rocket scientists on here. And neither are you, by the way.
So put that video back up. Put the video back up. Once you walk down that ladder, you can see the hill through him.
What makes you so certain that it didn't happen? Really?
You know what?
Honestly.
You know what?
I can't believe my eyes over everything else.
Old video footage can look transparent. If you've got like a dodgy old video that's not hasn't picked up properly, things are transparent. I mean,
so you can see a hill through the whole of a person's body and a backpack.
No, but what makes you so sure though? What have you got a degree in rocket science?
I don't need a degree.
Moon landings or something.
I don't need a degree to be able to see what I see.
Why do they make something so bad if they're going to fake something?
Hey?
Yeah.
Because they make it out there just before just at the start of NASA. It was NASA 1958. By 1962, America was doing something called Operation Fishbowl. They were doing high-altitude nuclear tests, blowing nuclear bombs into the sky in 1962. At exactly the same time, Russia, right, were doing exactly the same thing, but they called theirs Operation Dominic, right?
Yeah,
why were they?
It was called the Race to the Moon. Yeah.
Right? Yeah,
space race between America and Russia to get to the moon. Yes.
Okay, so that justifies both of them shooting nuclear warheads at the atmosphere.
Well, I don't know about that. I'm just saying there was a race to get
to
the
moon.
They
did.
The Americans got there first and the Russians got there second. So How
I'm
could
not sure-
so
I'm not sure where you-
everyone's lying, and we've got to
The
believe
Russians
people
never
like
went.
you?
Hold on a second. Stop. The Russians never went to the moon. They've not been there yet.
Did they not?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, only America. Apparently, America went up in '69 and went, was it another 11 times, possibly? And then the Chinese did it a million years later. Russia have
A
never.
million
been
years
to the
later.
moon.
Okay.
The Chinese haven't been up to the moon.
Well,
now.
million years
They've-
later, 2 years
they've-
ago, I think it was. Was it 2019 they went?
No, they haven't been to the moon. They've been into outer space in near Earth orbit.
Russia's been to outer space, yeah. Yeah, they were the first, apparently, first people up there. But what people don't know about is a gentleman called Augustus Piccard. Augustus Piccard actually was the first man in space. He went up there twice. Yeah, go on then.
Well, hang on. I
Go
thought
on,
it was
then,
a
what do you
monkey
think?
was the first thing to go into space.
No, long time before even they thought of NASA. Even before they got a Nazi to be the first director of
A
NASA.
monkey. I thought it was a monkey that
It
went
was a
in
monkey that
first.
went to space first.
Yeah.
No, Augustus Piccard. See,
No.
the chunks you're missing. If you Google about Augustus Piccard, Manny, did you say that you did it on a live stream just before the first time I came on here?
Did what on the live stream? Sorry.
Augustus Piccard, when he went up 10 miles twice in a balloon.
No, we had a chat about it on Speakers Corner Online.
Oh, he went to the moon in a balloon.
Yes.
No, he didn't.
Can you get me some footage on there, please, Manny? Because people are laughing and they're totally uneducated on this subject, and I'm kind of
what should I search?
annoying.
He just went to the edge of our atmosphere.
He went
Type in Augustus Piccard and see where you get on to. Go onto images. You're looking for the Time magazine one where he came down and he took to go on time.
Are you saying he went to the moon?
He went he went 10 miles up. He went 10 and 12, 14 miles up. He was the first person in space.
You know that. What's that got to do
That's
with,
not what you just said.
Okay,
Here he
in
is, Augustus
1930, in
Piccard.
1930, he built a balloon to study the cosmic rays, and that's not landing on the moon, is it?
It never said the moon. He went 10 and 40. How many miles is the moon?
But 250,000.
No, you said this guy went to the moon.
250,000. I
That's what
said
you
he was
said.
the first man in space, right? He went up 10. If you class 10 and 14 miles, right? It was 10 or 12. He was the first man in space, right? He said something totally different,
wait a minute.
right?
He was the
to what
first
all these
person-
astronauts have said since.
Okay. So he was the first person to observe the curvature of our planet.
Yeah, he didn't go to space. Space is 100 miles up.
Tell
There's
me
no way he
Richard
could
Branson
have gone
that
to space.
he
He
reckons
could
he
not
went
have
to
gone
space at 60 miles up. So tell
He couldn't have
Richard
gone-
Branson
hang
that
on.
one.
He couldn't have gone. He couldn't have gone out the atmosphere
He's
in
never come back.
a balloon. My
The balloon
God!
will collapse anyway.
14 miles up.
Do you know what happens to the balloon when it's put in space?
Well, NASA use them.
Yeah, not
NASA
going
still
out to
use them.
space.
They use them for weather satellites.
Yeah, but that's not going out to space.
It's close enough.
Well,
It's further than you.
Close enough isn't out of space. If you get into outer space, you're not coming back again. Well, you might do, but you wouldn't land in the same place you took off from.
Okay, he went 10 and a half miles above the Earth.
Yeah,
that's
The
what-
first
that's-
time, and the second time it was either 12 or 14.
No,
Half of the
no.
ship was black and the other side was silver,
No,
so you
no.
can control the heat of the sun inside the actual capsule.
But he's not orbiting the Earth.
He's not orbiting.
So Yuri Gagarin was the first man to orbit the Earth in space.
So you're told that. So you're told.
Well, so I know.
There's a lot of evidence to say he didn't.
You're talking about a man who sort of went straight up in a balloon and came straight back down again and landed pretty much in the same spot he took off from.
How do you know he's landed off more or less at the spot he took off from?
Well, I'm pretty sure that's the way it works.
You're pretty sure that's how it works. I'm going to say that's surely that you're that's an assumption because I've never looked where
you share this, love. It's about this professor that this guy won't shut up about. So
yeah, sure.
You got
I don't know if this is relevant. I'll just read it out. So in 1931, Auguste Piccard went up in a balloon to an altitude of 15781 meters, not far above the crushing altitude of an airliner. At the altitude, Earth's curvature is still very slight and difficult to see, especially through the small potholes in his chamber. And this is a quote, I believe. We shall see if we look exactly with a ruler. We can certainly see that Earth is curved, but through the portholes we did not notice it does not strike. What? Don't know what that means. Anyway.
So he went up a little bit higher than an airliner.
So in a popular science interview, Piccard said the Earth seemed a flat disc with upturned edge, and a flat Earthers interpret this as
can we confirm that
as if he was telling us Earth is flat. In reality, in another interview, it is clear he is convinced Earth is a sphere. In his writing, the word globe was also mentioned several times.
Okay, so flat Earth has been done. Yeah, we got that out of the way fairly quickly.
Okay,
Wendy,
so let's have a look at this because this is apparently him or whatever.
Yeah, I've seen this one.
Let's say if he landed in the same place as he got from, or closer.
We were on the scene as soon as the Austrian Alpine troops you now see on their way to the glacier to recover the envelope and gondola in which the intrepid professors had made a perfect landing. After their amazing air voyage, just imagine, twice as high as Mount Everest, the biggest mountain in the world. The gondola, only 6'7" in diameter, you'll notice is half black one side and half silver the other. Serene and calm, the professor walks down to the village to enjoy a hearty breakfast. When too warm, the bright side was turned to the sun. When too cold, the black. Dr. Kipler was overjoyed as he handed out each of the many instruments, all in perfect order, and recording highly scientific discoveries of the utmost importance.
So you're making a false claim about this man. This man never claimed that he went out of the Earth's atmosphere.
10 miles is high enough, isn't it?
It's not even out of the Earth's atmosphere.
See, he didn't act. I'd clap 10 miles on a balloon where it goes nice and dark, high enough for me. And I believe the second time was 14. I've just tried to check, but somebody's using the other tablet. So
I'd like to play this video very quickly, if I may.
This is fascinating. I remember very clearly, I think anybody who was alive at the time does. I remember my parents waking me up and we went down and we watched you guys land on the moon.
No, you didn't.
What?
Because there wasn't any television. There wasn't anybody taking a picture. You watched animation. So you associated what you saw with.
I have very hazy memories.
I know.
Well, what we saw was we all were gathered around the old curved top radio and listened.
Talking about how many feet we were going to the left and right, and then I said contact light, engine stop.
It was exciting.
A few other things, and then Neil said, Houston, Tranquility Base, the Eagle has landed. Man, how about that?
That was very exciting.
Not a bad line.
Yeah.
Why has nobody been to the moon in such a long time?
That's not an 8-year-old's question. That's my question. I want to know, but I think I know. Because we didn't go there, and that's the way it happened. And if it didn't happen, it's nice to know why it didn't happen. So
At some point in the future, we're going to look back and say, how did we do it without space?
You see, you can't get me with these silly little videos.
Sorry, one minute.
Oh.
Hassan, you're Rustam. Where are you, peasant? I'm here in your country. I am invading the Ottomans. The Persians are back on top again, baby.
I'm gonna come, I swear to God, I'm gonna come, bro, I swear to God. Ah, man, Banksy, one love out there, my bruv, man. Go kiss and love up my people there, man. One love, bruv. Go enjoy yourself. I'm listening to this dog shit Wendy for a minute. I'm on mute again, my bruv.
Dude, I miss you, man. You should be here with me.
I am, bruv. In heart and in soul, cuz. In heart and in soul, I'm definitely there, bro. I'm definitely there.
I'm trying to hear what you're saying. I'll be honest, I'm getting like 50% because it's really loud. But generally, it's awesome. We have to come, you and I have to come to fucking Turkey and bring Manny too. I don't give a fuck how many people are spreading chemtrails, whatever they are spreading it. Unfortunately, Manny, you have to get a fucking jib jab before you can get on a plane.
Hey, getting into that poison, mate, you mad?
Oh, look at that lifestyle there, man. Look at that life, man. That's what you call living, guys. Just to give you a heads up, yeah. That's living. There's slaves on knees here, slaves on knees. Well done, Banksy. Enjoy the shit out of it, bro. Have a couple of pitters on me, man. Roll up a couple of kebabs and all, cuz.
I'm literally ordering food from Baki right now. Thank you so much.
Oh, God.
Anyway, sorry for derailing the conversation there. Where were we, guys? So, yeah, I had just played that Buzz Aldrin video. That was a bit odd behavior. Obviously, it doesn't mean that he didn't go to the moon, but why would he discuss it in that way is another, I suppose, fuel for the
Well,
fire.
I don't believe he did. I think that was one of those, the technology they've got now where it seems that somebody is saying something, but they didn't actually say it. Yeah.
And also, we're going to be on the moon in 2 years' time, they reckon. So we'll be able to see where we've landed, even though we can see where we've landed today, where they've actually taken photographs of where we did land. So unless you say that those photos are fake from the Chinese, sort of you can carry on, can't you? Really? What about 911? Was that a controlled demolition?
Which one?
911. Twin Towers.
Well, there's evidence to suggest it may have been.
Oh, Manny, no, you're not one of them. No.
No, I'm one of those that's open to all possibilities. Yeah, I'm an open-minded person, Wendy. Yes, I'm guilty.
Well, when you actually study it, they actually collapse at the point where the planes crashed into. And how come it was the first tower to collapse was the second tower that got hit? Why do you think that would be?
So the first tower to collapse was. I mean, what does that prove?
Do you know why the second tower that got hit was the first to collapse?
Enlighten us.
Well, have you got an idea why it might have happened?
It could be, look, dude, it's an infinite number of possibilities. But if you have a specific answer to that question, then let's go mull over that.
Well, it was hit a lot further down, so there's a lot more weight that is having to hold up. The first plane crashed higher up and wasn't having to hold so much weight up.
Sure. I mean, like I said, I mean, I'm open-minded to both sides of the arguments, and I can categorically say there's enough evidence for both arguments to have a point. I'm not against either of them.
There's not enough evidence for both of them.
Well, I think there is, but the reason why I don't always go into debates about it is because I don't want to be disrespectful to the victims and their families, right? Because they're completely innocent. I mean, there is a hell of a lot of information about 9/11, 7/7, and a lot of the other things, including even Mumbai. But like I said, you have to be sitting off a live stream to discuss it and show stuff like that, because you really don't want to kind of disrespect the victims.
I mean, I've got the video that proves that it actually collapsed at the exact point of where the planes hit, and everything above that sort of like fell at that point, and then it came down. If it was a controlled demolition, it would have started from the bottom.
But was it a controlled demolition?
Why would it need to start at the bottom?
Well, they always do when they're controlled.
Yeah. No, they don't.
Yes, they
No,
do.
they don't.
They don't.
No, they don't. I used to work in demolition. Trust me, they don't.
Well, yeah, I've seen many demolition things. Yeah, many.
Again, like this is what really freaks me out, and the fact that a plane can't go that low is absolute nonsense. Well, how do you think fucking planes land?
Seen a plane? What?
Yeah,
Well, in the Pentagon. That is just absolute nonsense. The plane make those maneuvers day in, day out. You check the flight going into Hong Kong. And you tell me a plane. Well, someone was. And the planes blew up right before. Come on, man.
No,
they found plane debris all down there. I was one of them ones as well. That was like, no, that's.
Okay, so you don't believe it was a demolition? I don't.
But you think about it. If you're a fiberglass object, like genuinely, if you're a fiberglass object and you're going into a solid structure, and remember that this is a hexagon that you're talking about. Like it's got the additional like tortoise structure about it, and it goes in for four layers in or 3 layers in. I can't remember now exactly. Yeah, man, the plane ain't gonna fucking survive that. That's gonna turn to dust, bro. It's gonna turn to dust. And that's what it did. They found the engine parts in there. As much as, I think like where the kooks send it off into other directions, and like the fact that the building, like that's pants. Like, can you imagine? Like, you've got a building that high. If you demolition just a quarter of the top of that, the weight of that alone will bring that building.
Yeah, and the fuel that was
Like,
inside.
how is that? Why? Well, and again, like the gaming website that released, like these are the facts that need to be held. Like, yeah, there were people there inside, but there was also the people that would normally be at work, like having mysterious days off, and that was proven as well. And again, these are facts that like people like Ryan Dawson, if you really do have like questions that need to be answered, this is the guy that is answering them questions day in, day out, because it's the kooks that really move the debate on from where it really needs to be. That the government had planned this. The anthrax that was used was either from Israel, from Russia, or America, because they were the only one. Yeah, no, shut up.
What are you talking about, Hassan?
Mate, again. But the ones that don't know, they're going to divert off the subject. Look into Ryan Dawson's documentary in regards to the anthrax connection to 9/11. Okay?
Oh my God.
Yeah, you would. Oh my God, you royalist piece of shit. Fuck you. Don't care. Suck a dick.
I'm happy.
Hassan, look. If you want to discuss politics with anybody else, discuss
your weak debate with Danny Rusto, that was pathetic. You know what? I've been going around. shouting out for Speaker's Corner. This is the place to go to find real debate. And you know what? I come across that wet handshake there. You might as well just blown him, bro. Might as well just have blown him, bro.
Thanks for the
You
confidence.
would think he's good. You would think he's good. Again, like it's the right party hooting the right horn. And I've been quiet for a long time now, Banksy. I've sat in the back. I've heard all this like dullness go on.
This is
and
your
I just,
usual
yeah,
level,
when it's time to just drop it, it's time to drop it. So I'll give the floor back to dull Wendy. That's been proven several times, even though the moon print of the national food was circular, and now it becomes straight. You kook.
Okay, I was just gonna say, Hassan, thanks for your feedback for the show. It's duly noted. But also, it's great that you come on with a lot of strong points. But when you step over the mark and you start effing and blinding at individuals,
Manny, do me a favor. Do me a favor. I use my free speech the way I like. Yeah. Okay.
Abuse
as a
is
free
not
speech
free speech,
advocate, again, proving your points again, Manny. Let me explain to you what the actual using it or losing it becomes. Right?
Yeah,
I feel passionate enough, and it's in context for me to use this language.
Abuse is not free speech.
Okay, all right, okay, dear master, keep your opinions to yourself in regards to this.
I've
Hi,
just
Handy.
made a YouTube. Hi, mate. I've just done a video and I've just posted on YouTube responding back to what Danny Roscoe's saying about Mandy Mosley.
It was discussing that interview. I'll be honest with you. The fact that I already highlighted the fact that Danny Roscoe was involved in an altercation just moments before that. That just got totally ignored. And the fact that Ginger Tony's going around to workplaces, literally with threatening behaviour and intimidations that's not seeming to be a problem to someone. No, like in what reality does that happen and not get some serious vindication?
Well,
That's all
lies,
it is.
Anyway,
That's
You're
all. Yeah.
lying.
Anyway, what? Even with the video of her outside, it is a lie. You're an absolute dipshit.
You are lying. So is public annoyance.
Tony herself admitted to it. She tell you herself, like, what are you going to call her a liar? You would shit yourself anyway. If Ginger
I know
Tony
Ginger Tony would not say that.
I know Ginger Tony as well, you dumb shit. And
She
what?
would not say that. She would not say she threatened Andy.
Mate, what did she think she go up there for, you dumb soul? Like, are you serious, man?
Guys, this is not the subject of the show.
This is
Guys, this is
ridiculous.
not the subject of the show. We're trying to discuss conspiracy theories and conspiracy facts.
Conspiracy theories are Wendy 101, mate. 101
It's okay,
is.
we value her opinion just like we value yours, Hassan.
Well, value her opinions. It's like dog shit, man, smeared on a bacon sarnie, mate, with a British flag on it, and then with a supporting role in Israel, mate. Suck a dick, man. Shit
I
about
don't
England.
understand
Shit
why
about
you're
Israel.
encouraging me to enact any gay behavior. I'm not that way inclined. Why do you keep mentioning that?
You wish, Manny. You wish.
I
bro.
wish what?
I know you and your church schools, bro. Another kind of lessons you guys were getting taught in them places, bro.
Dude,
yeah, you laugh now. Oh dear vicar. Yeah,
I've never been to a church school.
Yeah,
Thank you very much.
I bet you was. I bet you was, bro.
You're very funny. Annie, did you have anything to say about the subjects we have been discussing? Is that what you jumped on for?
Yeah. To be honest with you, the one about the round. Sorry, Andy. Carry on.
Sorry, yeah, I've just done a response video to the Danny Roscoe show, just letting people know that I have.
Yeah, that's the end of that then. Yeah.
Hassan, did you have anything to say about the topics we are discussing, other than attacking Wendy?
Oh, attacking Wendy. See, this is another thing that you're so protective over people that are so easily
Dan, you did attack
approachable when it comes to bro. Again, I don't give a shit. If you're this stupid, guess what? You deserve attacking. Understand? Yeah. In regards to what? What would you like to know?
Hassan, if somebody attacked you, I'd defend you just the same.
No, you wouldn't.
Yes, I would.
I've seen proof of that. You wouldn't. I've seen proof of that. Anyway,
Dude, I
understand me?
would. You just like nobody verbally attacks you personally on when I'm around. If Wendy
But
was to say,
no,
1 minute, well, let me respond to that. If Wendy was to say, Hassan, you're a effing this and you're a effing that, then I would step in. Why would I not?
is there a reason why Wendy would need to do that?
There's no reason for you to do it to her.
Yeah, I do, because her opinions are dangerous.
Yeah, but you're not attacking her
And
opinions when you're
promoting
doing
her
that.
with a stupid approach is literally jarring me. So
Yeah, but
as that has the opportunity, I have the opportunity to then come down and, in my head, correct her.
But the thing is, Hassan, me and Wendy are always on the opposite side of all arguments. But because we're just discussing each other's points and attacking each other's politics, we're never abusive to each other.
No.
I know, and that's the reason why she keeps coming on here and able to promote herself,
right?
And get away with these stupid ideologies to be given platform, unchallenged, unhindered, and to go on like relentlessly with the support of yourself. And there's me here kicking your dog down the road.
But Hassan, look how many times I've thrown you off for being abusive, but I still encourage you to come back on.
Yeah, only because I promote the shit out of your channel. And the minute I find out that it's not about that, I'll be going to those very people and telling them how much of a dog shit you are. So yeah, you can call that mutual relationship.
Why are you attacking me?
I'll tell you, I'm not attacking anyone. Like, this is, stop taking this as attack. This is just me being real with you guys. It's not.
Yeah,
why would I? Me attacking you. When me is attacking is a very different thing. Like, and plus, my days of attacking are long gone, bro. I'm 50 years old now. What am I gonna attack? What am I gonna attack, man? A cold's gonna get me, bro. That's what I'm looking out for. Like that, this notion of attacking when I'm using words on you, Manny, is a little bit.
You've just
liberal
told me to go
for being a free
sexual behavior, which is highly offensive.
You know, that's also used as like throwing it on you, like. And I'm sure you most probably saw it like that, but you found the opportunity to somewhat make a logical, sensible, rational argument that it could be.
Yeah, I'm not offended by it, though.
Okay. Yeah, of course, I know you're not. Bro, Manny, and another thing as well, I love you, cuz. You know, like, people like you are going to be my heroes. Now, it doesn't mean that because my hero sometimes fucks up, I'm not going to go up to him and kick my hero. I don't got no problem with kicking my hero.
If that's love, I'd hate to.
Yeah, that's love. That's the reason why, man. This is exactly what, and this ain't a threat, because whatever I'm going to do is not going to be no different to what I've done to support you. This is another beautiful thing about living in this kind of beautiful world, is because we don't need to go there. You know, after seeing the Canadian riot, the Canadian freedom protests, I take that back, riot, totally wrong word. After seeing the Canadian freedom protest, now my attitude to this has changed. We can do this peacefully. We could do this with dialogue. We could do this in a right, appropriate way. But guess what? Israel doesn't need to make billions off of this. And that's what I'm promoting.
So, all right, thank you for that, Hassan. So,
thank you.
I've just got to go on mute ever for a few seconds. So if you guys want to carry on, I'll be back in a couple of secs.
Oh yeah, open your eyes. Can I please ask you? Can I please ask you to stop copying my post, please?
I don't. We're on the same channels. You're on about the
but
channel.
again, but you. All right. Anyway, I'm not going to go into it too much because it's going to sound kiddie and petty. But it's just a request. Genuinely, just a request. I'm not going to, again, as I've told Manny, I am not going to do anything other than use words. That's all. That's all. And there will be nice words to you, because guess what? I think you're a half decent chap, bro. You understand me? I really do. Like, I've not come across any of your posts. Oh yeah, and a big, massive shout out to Speakers Corner Online. Seriously, it is the one place to go and say whatever you want.
All right, video being played. This was put to. This is taken from the Rainimator, so let's play this.
Can I just answer that? Can I just answer that thing he's just said?
Sure.
Yeah, we seem We seem to only be on the same on the PAP channel together. It's always police abusing powers posts. I don't see your post, and then I'll get a comment saying copied post. Right, those are what come on my telly because I sit and watch YouTube. If I've just sat and watched it and thought, shit, I should post that, I'll literally post it.
All right, you know what? I'm gonna give you that channel. You could, because bro, the way I see it, like I'm looking at posts and I'm not thinking I can't post this because it's gonna be another like someone else that I'm not gonna keep posting up on. Me, I've got loads of people that I'm like thinking, yeah. As I say, bro, just
if I saw it on your channel, I'd copy it, or why is it you retweet it on Twitter? That's what I do. You look at my post, you can see the ones I've retweeted off other people's, and that's what I do.
Anyway,
the times is I've actually watched on telly and shared it.
All right, guys. So shall we play this video? And also look, this live stream is about conspiracy and facts, and using this live stream to cover other subjects is a little bit cheeky. I don't mind it, but you know, generally speaking, we should stick to the subject. Having said that, let's play this video that the TR, the reanimator. For some reason, I'm reading rain, and I don't know why. But anyway,
no worries.
I'll correct myself. Apologies.
You could probably speed it up to 1.5.
Okay, there's no sound to it.
Not at the beginning, no. But this disproves that still towers don't collapse after fire, because this one collapsed in Florida. Do you remember when it happened like last year?
Yeah, but what were those sparks that were coming out then?
Well, it is a fire.
Oh,
I've
not seen sparks like that come from a fire.
No, me.
Also, you did see the building go down, didn't you? I mean, you saw the building go down, didn't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I saw sparks. Like, that's not.
You can investigate it later, but it's a fire that happened in a high rise in Florida, and it collapsed. And
Was that a earthquake resistant building as well?
Oh, I couldn't. It's a steel frame tower. Right, so this actually just shows you the point of where it collapsed. Now, with the controlled demolition, they normally have like explosions going off down the side. But that collapsed exactly where the plane went in.
But of course, if it was
also
premeditated,
you
it
could
would do.
detonate it.
Yeah, if it was premeditated,
Well,
it
why
would
can't
do.
you detonate?
What do you have? You've got to put the detonators in where you think the plane's
Yeah.
going to.
Yes, of course we know that.
No, but they've got the plane. They've got proof. They've got proof of actually having this on again. Ryan Dawson's channel, explaining this in full detail, like exactly when the demolition team had the opportunity to put the charges in.
Oh, please.
When you think I'm joking? The guy's got it there. Wait until Twitter's open. Trust me when I say this.
Hassan, 2 seconds though. You're saying that they put explosions in where they knew the plane was going to crash. So they said
where they knew that, yeah.
So
they closed the lift shafts off. They were doing lift work on both towers.
There you
I
go.
believe it was up to a month beforehand.
Oh, you're all
They
talking
closed
rubbish.
the
What the hell do
again.
you expect to happen when
So,
two
and it was
planes
all for
go
Israel's
into
war.
towers? I mean, please.
Again, Wendy's shouting like a barking dog. Get over
Yeah,
it,
well,
man.
it's fine.
Your
You talk
country, the actual country that you really
talk
are the
rubbish,
patriot to,
Hassan.
has allowed
You talk
millions
rubbish,
to die
Hassan.
for it.
Yeah.
Millions.
Yeah.
And all we want is it to stop. don't
Yeah,
want
you
to
talk
hurt the
rubbish.
Israeli people. We just want to say no to them from now on. No, thank you. You know, you can keep your war machine.
So basically,
How do you explain that World Complex Building 7 then? The one that
There weren't a
came
building
down
7.
completely
There was no 7.
wasn't on fire. Wasn't on
There was
fire
no 7.
and wasn't near the Twin Towers. Didn't spark.
That's been debunked, but I'm not here to explain Building 7.
How's it been debunked? Because I haven't seen it debunked.
Yeah,
And I'm sure
have.
lots
Check
of people
mine,
watching this
Dawson.
one's seen it
I have.
debunked.
I have.
So
Again,
how did it
he's got a
fall down then when
Substack that
it was never
explains
on
it all
fire?
as well.
This is a controlled demolition here. That's a controlled
That's
demolition.
it. That's how they go. Yeah.
Yeah, also, you could take him down loads of other ways.
There we are.
Right, you don't see, look, that's
Wait a
not,
minute,
see,
wait a
that didn't
minute,
go
wait a
down like
minute.
that, look.
But did you see what they did there?
Some go down on their side.
Right, so for the 9/11, for the footage for the 9/11, they zoomed in right towards the top of the building. For these buildings, they zoomed out and showed the base of it first. Why couldn't we see the whole of 9/11 or the wider picture of the 9/11 towers? The footage is biased. It's not even fair.
Well, no, because like if it had been exploded at the bottom, where it collapsed would have like been moving downwards anyway.
Yeah, it was. This is the 9/11s were. It was exactly the same. The only difference is that these buildings were shown at the base.
Yeah.
They fall on their own footprint.
Okay, did you all see that? Did you all see that then?
Yeah.
Wait, 1 minute. Let's just take this
I
back
did.
away. Yeah, okay, let's take the bottom bit away. Yeah. Oh no, I can't do it because you guys are not seeing my screen. If just forget the top half of this. Just look at the top and it'll just look like the 9/11 tower watch. Don't look at the bottom. I know it's going to be hard. There you go.
No.
You debunk it.
And here's another thing as well, that you really ain't got a real true one-on-one here. One's a top half specialist demolition, and one's a controlled demolition that's been pre-planned and doesn't have those parameters. Like the people that were connected to the maintenance of the, I believe it was the air shafts and lifts. The guy has even been convicted. He's done 10 years for this. Like this has gone past the conspiracy, but the media are dumb. No one's talking about it because
I'm not convinced.
Ding.
I'm not convinced.
Be quiet. I told you. Ding. What's that mean?
Yeah, it's mate. You're Zionist, neocon, Nazi Jews. That's if you want to hear it. Them, the ones that are in the media making all the money, the ones that are in the banking making all the money.
You
the ones
see a
in
Jew around every bush.
making
You see a Jew around every tree.
the money. And once you got those establishments, guess what? You can shout away all day on YouTube. No problem. Like,
I
no one's
don't
gonna
shout
care
away
anyway.
all day on YouTube. I'm just saying,
I'm talking
you're
about.
obsessed with Jews. What's wrong with you?
Well, like if they're obsessed with us, well, it only makes sense to be obsessed with
Can I
them.
just say one thing? Can I just say one thing? I'm not convinced that they put the explosives on exactly the same point as where the plane hit.
Of course they didn't, TR. It's ridiculous.
It's pretty
all
good.
ridiculous.
Yeah, but this is the thing. It's none of these situations is at one point is never the convincing point. You have to really look at a broader picture as possible, and then make your assumptions.
The planes had to hit at exactly the right point where the explosives were in both buildings.
You can program a plane on a software in air traffic tower to do that. You know that they've got technology where they could take over your plane. Planes could fly by themselves. People are going to be surprised to find out, but planes have got the ability to take off, go to the destination, and land perfectly on time.
Yeah, well, we know those planes didn't.
All right, so if you could do that, why can't you program it into that?
You're talking
Madness.
about means accuracy.
again, if you could take a plane off, take it to its journey, and land it on time, that argument can't stand because it does that.
Hits.
It does that.
Hits. Even cruise missiles.
Again, it does that.
Cruise missiles aren't
Again, it does that.
Yeah, no, you're
Are you some sort of scientist to do with airplanes now? Are you like what?
No, Wendy, I just watch a lot of documentaries.
Yeah,
when it comes to
exactly.
this,
I think you watch too many documentaries.
some
That's
facts,
your problem.
Yeah. Is that bad instead of sniffing the
You're
royal's
watching too
arsehole,
many of them.
supporting Prince Andrew, scumbag?
Why technology doesn't
Well, I
work?
give my love to Ian for you. There you go.
Why do you need to be a scientist? We keep coming to this. Why do we need to be a scientist?
Well, because all you do is you keep going off documentaries you've seen. That's what you're going off.
How do you learn? Well,
You
we ain't gonna
believe
go to
any
aviation
Tom, Dick, or
school
Harry
just to
that puts
find out how a plane
puts up
can
a
land, you
video,
idiot.
calls it a documentary, and they just make these things up as they go along.
Yeah. Oh, how Israel?
Oh God, you're obsessed with Israel.
And so are you.
I've never
So
I
are
don't
you.
mention Israel. You do.
Oh,
all
mate,
the time.
you Ian Piddock's bitch.
Oh yeah, I'll say hello to him for you. Yeah.
Please do. Tell him to suck the Queen's arsehole as well.
Okay, guys, this conversation is going a bit sideways. Perhaps we look to end the live stream and perhaps pick it up at a later time. Anybody have any closing comments, which is not a personal attack on anybody?
Yeah, of course. I believe we did land on the moon, and I believe that 9/11 was truly a terrorist attack.
I feel okay with good evidence. I feel as if I'll give you good enough evidence to sort of like understand that it wasn't a controlled demolition. And then we've got
no evidence there.
Let him finish, Hassan.
It's up to the viewers to decide for themselves. That's all I'm going to say.
The big thing that nobody's picked up on there, he wouldn't have had to have pinpointed an aeroplane to a spot on a giant building that's laced with explosives. He'd have had quite a big margin of error, seems though the building's laced with explosives.
It exploded.
Only have had to detonate. It would have only have had to detonate something, and that's even if the detonation was from the plane.
Open your eyes, UK.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, I've got some bad news for everybody. Somebody else has joined. We've got to put him on.
He looks so happy.
Unmute yourself. Unmute yourself. Let's hear you.
He looks fucking happy as shit over there. Look at the life in the background. God. Well, Joe.
He has got his music on. So, perhaps while he's playing out, any closing thoughts from anybody else?
Yeah, to be honest with you, 9/11.
Fucking boring! I had to do something!
Oh, actually, that looks quite nice. Like an excellent link going on.
Sorry, I thought your conversations were very deep and informative. You're fucking old!
Well, live streaming from Turkey, Speaker's Corner, eh? No, it's good.
to your regularly scheduled program.
Thank you. All right, I think Wendy's dropped off. I do have a few things to share with everybody before we do close the stream. But I think, Hassan, you were going to share your final thoughts?
You don't realize I can't hear a fucking word you're saying. Because this place is in sick battle.
All right, thank you, thank you. We're closing up the stream now. Oh, no, he's back, look. Okay, Hassan, you go.
I am mostly ignoring everything you're saying right now.
And that's why I'm muting you. Go, Hassan.
Yeah, listen, one love to Speakers Corner Online. Please hit it up, share, make friends, add posts, go live and all the rest of it. And please, for the facts on 9/11, please go check Ryan Dawson at Odyssey, on Entropy, on a load of other platforms. Soon after this Twitter ban is up, the whole true story of this 9/11 will come out. It no longer will be conspiracy. It's for pricks like Alex Jones that have really fucked this up. And until they take it back, no, we're going to get Building 7 and all these kooky ideas. Anyway, one love, hit, share, love, and all the rest of it.
Cool, thank you, Hassan. So my closing statement is this: I don't think a single opinion has been wrong today. I think we've heard both sides of the argument. We've opened your eyes, UK, and Hassan is more on the side of let's question everything. Something doesn't seem right, and the mathematics don't add up. Reanimator and Wendy are, of course, looking at the official science side of it and using the basis of the official findings to use as an anchor.
My eyes looking at the evidence.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So my yeah, but you're not looking at your eyes, you're looking at the TV. So there is slight difference. But my point is that none of these opinions that we've heard is different, and what we should be doing is evaluating both sides on their own merit. And when you do that, I think a lot of people will find that not everything is clear as they want to make it. Sorry?
When you do that, you get a sore ass for sitting on the fence.
Well, it also opens up your horizons and makes you understand, because what you're doing is you're removing your emotions and you're allowing the facts and data to do the talking for you. Whereas if you kind of go in at any subject with a particular objective by picking a side or being overly regimented, then you're going to miss things. It's as simple as that.
I don't go into anything without with a particular opinion. I've looked at all the conspiracies on like the moon landings and 9/11. I spent like a long time looking at it and almost being convinced by it. So I haven't gone in there sort of like with a premise.
Right, which is fair enough. So we have to respect your opinion on that basis.
Yeah, and then you come to a conclusion, don't you?
Sorry?
And then you come to a conclusion, don't you?
Yeah, I'll come to my conclusion. Doesn't have to be the same as yours.
No, but are you saying that you haven't come to a conclusion?
I'm probably a bit more open to other possibilities than you.
Well, I think it's good to form an opinion at the end of the day, to come up with like your own like conclusion, even if it's wrong. You can't just be open-minded like forever.
Why not?
Well, no, you can be if you want to, but at some point you've got to come to like a conclusion on what you really think. You either believe we went to the moon or we didn't go to the moon.
Yeah, I mean, for the moon thing, I mean, you don't have to be in one camp or another, because there's certain attributes of that conspiracy that you can't determine, and the best way to determine is to go up to the moon yourself, and that's not going to happen. because I haven't got a CGI software good enough to make it happen. I'm joking. I'm joking.
Well,
But it's not going to happen, so I'm not going to know for sure.
So you don't think that because like the Russians confirmed that America went to the moon, you know, that's not convincing for you?
But do you know both the Russian space agency and NASA were both created former Nazi scientists that were taken to the two countries?
And what's that got to do with it?
So for example, say you and I are British, and then we are taken to two separate countries.
I know the background behind it, and sort of like one took a load of like rocket scientists from Germany, and like Russia took another load of rocket scientists from themselves, and they were in competitions getting to outer space. They were rivals.
Well, apparently they were in competition. I mean, I wasn't there to confirm that they were working extra hard.
Okay, well, there you go then.
I've got to be able to verify things.
Yeah. Well, don't worry about it, Paddy. Don't worry about it. It's fine.
Okay, you can't ignore one bit of information just to favour another by saying, well, it was official. There was a Cold War going on.
You're saying that NASA and the Russian space missions, they were in cahoots with each other. That's what you're saying. That's your premise, basically.
No,
that's your foundation.
See, what you want me to do is which I feel that you might be doing yourself, is perhaps disregarding some collection of information in favor of the most important information. For example, probably the Cold War, what you were referring to a few moments ago. Whereas I don't tend to do that. I give every possibility based on its own merits.
Yeah, so you'll never come to a conclusion or have an opinion.
But I don't need to come to a conclusion. I can be open-minded as I need to be.
Okay, that's fine.
I think that's the best thing.
You cannot form an opinion. That's
so
fine.
When you trade the financial markets, once you start making conclusions that the market is definitely going to go up or definitely going to go down, then that's where you're going to make a mistake. You have to be consistently looking at what it might do in the opposite directions, and when you do that,
we're not gambling your money or investing money here. This is actually being able to come up with a conclusion, not having an opinion.
Again, that's your thought process. I'm just telling you mine. There's not always a reason to come up with a solid conclusion. You can stay open-minded, and that's how you stay ahead.
Oh well, okay.
But please do come back and try to convince me another time.
Why would I? There's no point in trying to convince you, because you're not going to be convinced, because you're always open-minded. So that's completely pointless, isn't it? Really.
Well, I never understand when people think that, take your position.
You just asked me, why don't I come back and convince you? You just told me that you're never going to be convinced. So what's the point?
At the moment, I'm open-minded. You might be able to convince me.
No, I don't think I will. You just admitted it. Why? I don't have to. There's no point in me trying to convince you of anything.
I feel as if I've been told off.
Well, in a sense, you are really.
Okay.
Well, I mean, 1 minute you're saying, "Come and convince me," and then the next minute you're saying, "You can't convince me of anything."
Yeah, because I still value the information that you're going to bring. I still value your opinion. It all goes in my.
No, you don't.
But why would I waste my time?
Look, there's no winning. There's no winning in this conversation for me. All I'm trying to do is say I'm open to whatever information comes my way.
Yeah, no, it's a waste of time. It's been fun, but pointless.
Okay, look, I feel as if I've upset you. I apologise if I have. I just
it just made me realise it's like being pointless exercise, really. You know, so.
Well, it hasn't been for me. I mean, I didn't.
It's given me a show, but it's been pointless for me. Anyway, I'll catch you later.
Do you remember the point that I was telling you about the free speech stands, and sometimes, you know, like where you stand is important. That's the bit that I was trying to get to you, Banksy. Like, it's a really honourable stance that you're holding here, but like people are going to hold you to some ridiculous high standards, and you can't blame them for that. Just a heads up, bro.
Was that to me? I think it was.
Just
Anyway,
the
animator, thank you very much for coming on. I really appreciate it. Sorry, Hassan, I interjected there.
Yeah, just the one Manny there, brother. Just the one Manny. That was you,
Okay,
bro.
man. Point taken on. Thank you very much. Any closing thoughts from you? Open your eyes, UK.
No, I think we're there, haven't we? We're all going to agree to differ in a kind of way, aren't we?
I think so, and that's what's good about living in a democracy, eh?
Is that really what it is?
I don't know.
In a real democracy, you've got to have real opposition. And do you see real opposition for anything, anywhere?
No, I suppose not.
Democracy's dead, I'm afraid.
It's true. It's true. Okay, ladies and gentlemen.
Agreed.
Oh, look, you agree with that one.
Oh, it's definitely dead, yeah. It's either left or right. You got a choice of one of the two. No democracy here.
All right. Thank you very much. I'm going to play this intro for Monday out now. I see you guys later.
Few people laughed, few people cried. Most people were silent. I remember the line from Hindu scripture, the Bhagavad Gita. Vishnu is trying to persuade the prince that he should do his duty. To impress him, takes on its multi-armed form and says, "Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds." I suppose we all thought that one way or another.